Well, the scene may be clear, but the state's Department of Environmental Protection is keeping a close eye on storm drains near Belvedere and Florida Mango.
And this is after a tanker carrying aviation fuel overturned. Contact 5 investigator Maris Badcock is live at that scene now. How the crews are responding 24 hours later. Hey, Maris.
Hi everyone, you can still see some crews over here monitoring the storm drains, but obviously traffic is back open. Now we do have some new details. I just got off the phone with Florida Highway Patrol. They tell me that the driver of that tanker tried to go from Perimeter, making a left-hand turn onto Belvedere, and he failed to do so. He was cited for careless driving. The driver's name is Basil Common Jr. He's from Sunrise, Florida. Now in total, the Department of Environmental Protection says the crews that are still on the scene have pumped out about 2,000 to 3,000 gallons of fuel recovered. 24 hours after a hazmat scene on Belvedere Road in West Palm Beach, life on the busy street has returned to normal above ground. But below ground, crews contracted out by the Department of Environmental Protection are keeping an eye on things.
What we're establishing now is how much product is in that underground sewer and where has it gone.
Yesterday, a tanker carrying 8,000 gallons of aviation fuel overturned, spilling some of that fuel into nearby storm drains. Today, crews with contractor Jam Environmental are continuing to pump out storm drains, recovering an estimated 2,000 to 3,000 gallons of aviation fuel. DEP officials say yesterday's chaos has been contained within the stormwater system. Now, other response teams are monitoring canals and outfall systems nearby, but so far it appears that none of this fuel has reached any surface waters. Tonight, I'm live in West Palm Beach. Maris Badcock, WPTV News Channel 5.
At least 12 people were killed, including 4 children, in a fire last night at an apartment building in the Bronx borough of New York City. Mayor Bill de Blasio calling this the worst fire tragedy in the city in at least a quarter century. News Channel 5's Tori Dunnan joining us now with the latest on this tragedy. Tori.
John, the New York City Fire Commissioner says that a toddler playing alone in the kitchen was the cause of this fire. That child escaped with his mother, but the fire then quickly spread.
Get out of the way, man! Get out of the way! Get out of the way!
Thursday night, a deadly fire engulfed a Bronx apartment complex. Fernando Batiz says his sister, 53-year-old Maria Batiz, and her 8-month-old granddaughter were among those killed.
I'm in shock right now. I don't know how to react. I'm just like numb.
People trapped at apartment 13. We're getting a baby in there. Also apartment 6, people trapped.
Friday morning, officials said the flames started in a first-floor unit where a 3-year-old boy was playing with the burners on a stove. His mother noticed when the boy screamed.
She exited her apartment with her 2-year-old and 3-year-old and left the door open. So this fire quickly spread up the stairs. Fire travels up. The stairway acted like a chimney.
The city fire commissioner reminded all residents that in a fire emergency, closing all doors is a critical step to help prevent tragedies like this. 7 firefighters were also injured.
There right away, and they did. And remember, with the freezing cold, tough conditions for our firefighters and our emergency personnel, but they did a great job.
It is the time of year where people celebrate, and certainly here we have people who've lost their lives, lost their homes, lost everything, and we grieve with them as everyone in this city should and does at this terrible time.
4 people are now in critical condition from injuries suffered in this fire. They are being treated at local hospitals. In the newsroom, Tori Dunnan, WPTV News Channel 5.
The Islamic State claimed responsibility for an attack at a church near Cairo, Egypt, that left at least 9 dead. 8 of the victims were Coptic Christians. It's the latest attack targeting the mostly Muslim country's embattled minority. Christians, who make up about 10% of Egypt's population, have long complained of discrimination in the Muslim-majority nation and say authorities have often failed to protect them from sectarian attacks.
Another dangerous day on the southbound ramp at Congress and I-95. This time, the crash proved to be deadly. Drivers say it's a problem, one the state said previously it's determined to fix. We sent News Channel 5's Jason Hackett straight to state officials for answers to this concerning trend. Jason.
Yeah, actually, I went down to the Florida Department of Transportation District 4 headquarters in Fort Lauderdale to ask why this seems to keep happening and what they're doing about it. Is there a problem at that intersection?
Well, when you look at the volume of traffic that uses that ramp and the small number of crashes that are occurring at the intersection, we would say no, that's not a significant number.
Barbara Kelleher with the Florida Department of Transportation tells me that when it comes to the overpass at I-95 and Congress, perception doesn't necessarily match reality. That despite several big accidents over the last year. So what do those numbers look like? FDOT tells me 7,200 vehicles use the southbound ramp every day. That's more than 2.6 million vehicles every year. Over the course of the year, the intersection averages 8 crashes, half of them speed related.
Is it driver behavior that is making people think that it's an unsafe area? Maybe people are going too fast as they're coming off that ramp.
For many, the visuals seem to tell a different story from the data. In the last year, several semis wound up driving through the intersection and dangling over the interchange. In one case, it led to the death of a tow truck driver responding to the scene. Shortly after, FDOT says it made improvements in signage and road markings. But in October, we told you about a semi that drove through and landed on I-95. Luckily, no serious injuries there. And then the most recent accident on Thursday morning when a 26-year-old woman died